Okay. Now we have the star column charts and then the line charts. So what we are coming to do is that we are coming to add formatting to these two charts. Now, anytime we wanted to add formatting to a chart, make sure that the chart is selected. That particular chart is selected. Then you go to the visualizations. Then here is the visualization. You will see format your visuals. Format your visuals. Click on the format your visuals, and then you see visual and general. Visual and general. Okay. Now we have x-axis here. This x-axis here means that all the formatting here will be applied to the x-axis. So for example, let's say you wanted to increase the font size of the x-axis label. So here by default is 9. So let's increase it to let's say 15. Now I can see that here it has increased the font here. You can also change the font itself. So all these things are various fonts you can use. Then you can also make it bold. See the idea of making it bold. You can also make it italic and then also underline. You can also change the font color by selecting the color section and then also changing it. If you click here to get, here is the conditions. We talk about this, whereby I can set a rule for the colors. Okay. I also change the colors of the font. So let me go back to black and then let me click on the italic. We don't want the good. Okay. So all these things are applied to the x-axis. You can also do the same thing for the y-axis. So the y-axis too, here we have the minimum value. So let's say the minimum range. Right, when you say the range, the minimum range and the maximum range, by default it's on auto. So that's automatic. So let's leave it as automatic. Then you can also go to the values. You can off the values. Let's say you don't want any values for the y-axis. You can off it. See that here, there's nothing here. If I on it, you can see that we have values is back. Here you can increase the font size, can make it bold, and so on. And then you can also change the color. Let's change it to black. Okay. Let's increase it to let's say 13. And we have the display unit. So the display unit is the values here, how the values has been displayed here. Here by default is on millions. We can change it to thousands, or can change it to any maybe billions or trillions. Right. Okay. Now we also have the values decimal places. By default is on auto. We can increase the decimal place. You see that here we have 2 decimal place here. Can increase it. Let's do it to 1. And then we have the actual title. The title for the title for the y-axis. Okay. Sorry, I've mute myself. Mistakenly mute myself. So I was saying that here you can change the title. Sum of profits. Okay. So the sum of profits here by default it picks the column names, sum of profit. But if you want to manually type something here, you can do it. So let's say profit here. can make it profit. See that here we have the profit here. Okay. And then can also change the style. And the same thing applies to the font. You can change the font here. You can also increase the font and then the color. Okay. So that's the x-axis and then the y-axis. Okay. Any question on this one? Okay. Then let's move on to the title, the actual title. So the title, you go to the general. So the general section, we have the title here. So you can see that this is every chart has a title. So we have sum of profit by country. And this is the title, sum of profit by country. Right. So here we can just remove the sum of profits here. And then you see that here we have cleared the sum of profits. Now you can also, the same idea, increase the font size, and then the font itself can make it bold, italic, and underline. And here the horizontal alignment, you can make it centered, or can make it right or left. So let's put it to center. And here we also have the background color, the background color of the title only. You can select any of these to make the background color. Let's pick blue. No, let's take this, something nice. Okay, good. And then let's make the text white. Good, something like this. Okay. And then we come to effects. So the effects, we have the background color. Can change the background color of the whole chart to black, and then let's say you can adjust the transparency. Adjust the transparency to make it more. Okay. And then we have the visual borders. So visual borders is this borders here. So there's the visual borders. So let me select it. Let me go back. So the visual borders, you can on it, and then here come the rounded, that increase it to, let's say, 20. See that now we have the rounded lines here. And also, let me go back again. We have the shadow. So you see that when I on the shadow, you can see the shadow at the background here. So that's the shadow. So here, one particular chart, you can add like a whole lot of formatting to it, right? Maybe times goes on, we'll be talking about these properties, about the positions and all those things, right? Good. Now, so let's say that we have this particular chart and you wanted to apply, we have formatted the first chart and we have about 4 or 5 charts. Here we have only 2. So that means that here you apply the same format to this one. The same formatting we did here to this particular line chart. So for us to avoid going through the whole process again, you will select this particular chart and then go to Format Painter. You click on the Format Painter, you see that here it will turn, the cursor will turn into brush. You come to this particular chart or the chart you wanted to format it, and then you click on it. See that now the same format here has been automatically applied to this. Right, that's how it works. So that if you have about more than 1 chart, 5 charts, or 4 charts, you will be repeating this process again and again. Okay. I hope you are cool so far. Hello. Hello, I just want to hear your voice. I mean, if you are
We are trying to catch up. Go on.
okay. Okay, so are you also doing it alongside?
I haven't been able to download the desktop yet, so I'm using my phone for now.
Oh,
I'm able to
okay,
download that more.
okay. So let me share the link with. I think I shared it in the group the last time for you to download it. I'm coming. Let me Google it and share with you right now so that by the time we finish this one, you have downloaded it. I'm coming. Power. Yeah, down. Power BI desktop. I'm coming. Let me Google it and share the link with you right now. Mhm. Okay. So let me. I'm coming. Let me share with you right now. Okay, so I've shared in the group. Okay. Okay. So this is the first two charts we have done. Okay, so let's add one more thing to it. Let's add a text box, right? Let's add text box to it. So let me click on the text box. So this is the text box, and then here let's name it financials. That's the name. Let's write something here. That's the name of the dashboard. Let's make it financials dashboard. Okay. And then let me increase the font size to, let's say, 20, and then to Georgia. Let's make it like 28. Okay, so let me position it somewhere here. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the name we have here. Now let's me also change the background colors of this particular text box. So yeah, I'll come to effects. You select it, you come to effects, and then the background color, let's change it to black, and then let's adjust the transparency. And then the font color, let's change it to white. Good. So I have something like this. Okay. Now let's continue. So let's also try the donor charts. So let's try the donor chart. So let me position the donor chart here. Okay, so the donor chart also is also the same as the pie chart, and the donor chart is almost the same. I mean, I guess only the difference is that the donor chart we have some circle in it here, but the pie chart we don't have that circle in it. In the donor chart, we don't have it. Right. Okay. So let's go back to the table view, and then let's also come out with another visual. So here we have, okay, so we have United States, sorry, the country by profit. Here too we have uh, sum of profit by month. Okay, so here we can talk about segments, right? So how many segments do we have? We have one, two, three, four, five. We have five segments, right? Okay, so let's do it. Says you wanted to know each segment and their profit. So when you take the channel partners, and then we know their profits. When you take the enterprise, you know the profit made by the enterprise, right? Then you compare all the segment, which one have the highest or the highest profit. So let's go back to the report view, and here I'll take the segments to the legend. Good. Now we are dealing with this one, the donor chart, and then I'll take the profits to the values to come out with this particular chart. Now this chart, let's also format this chart. Now, one thing is that let me see this. Let me do it again. Also, okay. So segment here, and then profits here. Okay. Okay. Now, this particular chart, we don't want the legend here, because when you put the cursor here, we can still have can still see the name of the segment. So if you click on focus mode, you put the cursor here, you can still have can still see the name of the segment. So we don't want the segment, this particular segment, and we want to see only percentage, not the values and then the percentage itself. So what we have to do is that we select it and then go to format your visual. And here we come to the details labels. And here the label content, we change it to percentage of total. So now we have percentage of total. Good. And then the legend, we off the legend. Right, for all the legends. So yeah, we off it. Good. And also the font size. Okay, the font size and everything is okay. So what we have to do is that we want the same formatting as this particular chart. So I'll select this chart and go to format painter. I come and click on it to have the same chart. Okay. So let me off the legend again, and then also the values. The values, I want to increase the values. So I'll come to detail labels, values here, and then also I'll make the values bold, and then also increase the font to 15, or this the values. And we can also the slices here, the colors can also change it. Let's say the government is red, you don't want red, you want to make it white, change it to white, and then the blue one to, let's say you want it to be like this color, and so on. So this is the colors you can choose from the slices. Okay. Then let's also do the last one, which is you take the products, and then the products to know the total sales of the products. The total sales of the product. So here too, let's go by uh okay. So let's go by funnel chart. So let's choose this particular chart here, and then I'll put the products here at the category, and then the sales at the values to get these charts. Now you see we have this product is having the highest sales, followed by this to the last one. Okay, so let's also do the same formatting again. I'll select it, go to format printer, and I'll come and click on it to have it here. Okay. So if I click on the focus mode, I'm getting it something like this. Okay. Now, this is the small visual we have on it. Though it's not, the dashboard is not nice. This is our first dashboard, so it won't be like nice. But time goes on, you'll be trying to add more features to it to make it more nice. Now, we have one visual here called card. Now, the purpose of this visual card here is we use it to display values. Use the card to display values. So let me do an example. So I'll click on the card. So this is the card. So you see it. Now, I wanted to know the average price, the average price, the average sales price. So this is the average sales price. So here I'll drag the average sales price and put it at the field. And here it will give me the odds, sum of sales price. I want it to be in average. So I'll click on this arrow down here and then I'll change it. By default, it's on sum. So I'll change it to average to get the average of sales price. Go down here. Let me position it here. So let me resize it and position it at the top here. Good. We have it something like this. So still the name still is disappeared. So I'll come to the format your visual and then the call out values. I will decrease the price, the call out values, and also come to the category label. I also decrease it. Okay, decreasing it too much. Let me increase it small. Let me come here and also decrease this one to okay, so that you can see the average sales price. Okay, so this is the average sales price. You can add more formatting to it. You can go to general and then effects, then also change the background color to let's say black, and then you adjust the transparency. Okay, yes. So I think this is cool. So the same idea here. Let's go back to the visualizations. Let's take the card again. And this time around, we wanted to know the total profits. So we drag it to this field to give us the sum of profits. So these are the profits, the total profit of the whole segment of the whole finance, right? So here, position is somewhere here. I'll select this format printer, click on it, good, and then let me resize it. Okay. Let me resize this one small. Okay. Okay. Have something like this. Okay. Now, we also wanted to add slices to it, right? The slices will help us to filter the dashboard. That's the purpose of the slicer. So we have the slicer here. This is the slicer. The same slicer in Excel, right? Yes, the same features here. So we click on the slicer here, and let's say in the slicer, you wanted to filter the charts based on based on segments. So drag segment here. Good. So this is the segment. So here there's no need for connection like in Excel unless you go to report connection before you can connect it. Here, just click on it and it will automatically filter everything for you. That's it. Filter everything. So this is the government and this is the enterprise. So here, when you click on the enterprise, sum of profit is negative. So you see that the enterprise, there's a losses. And you can even see it from the profit by country. See this, so here all is negative, right? And then the line chart too, you can also see it from the line chart. So the enterprise, there's a lot of losses. There's no profit, right? Go to government. So this is the government section, the mid markets, and then the small business. Okay. Now the slices too, we have so many ways of doing the slices. So let's also format the slicer. Now after you have filtered your chart and you wanted to go back to the default stage, you just click on this sign here, clear selection. Click on it to clear everything back to normal. So let's resize it. And then let's go to format your visual. Now the format your visual, let's straight go to the slicer settings. Now the slicer settings, we have star. Let's click on the star. So that we have the vertical list, the tailor, and then the drop down. Click on it. This is how it is. So let's make it drop down. So this is how the drop down looks like. So click on the drop down, then you select. After that, you clear it. And you click here, then it become go back to normal. So this is the drop down. I normally like this drop down because it make it very small. Okay, let's still format the slicer. So go to format your visual, go to general, and then also let's format the headers, right? So you can make it bold, and then let's increase the font size. Okay, and then can also change the background color and then the values itself here. I also increase it so that when you click on it, it will become very big like this. Okay. Can also position it here, somewhere here or anywhere you wanted to put it. Okay. So let's also click on the slicer again. And then this time around, we will pick a, let's say, country. Let's pick country. So you can select it, go to format your visuals, and then come and place it here. Okay. Can still do it as the setting side. So let's make a drop down. Okay. So this is the slices we have. Okay. Now we also have one feature here called filter. Now the filter works in so many ways. Now you see that here I have not selected any chart here. So here I can see filter on this page. That's the first one. So let's say let me drag the country to this field here. So here too I can also filter it. The same filter. I'll filter the country here. Then I'll go to clear it. If I want to clear it, I'll clear it. So this filter and this slicer is it's almost the same, but the only difference is that here the slicer become a visual, right? Okay, that's one feature of the slicer filter on this page, meaning that we also have another filter here called filter on all pages, meaning that when you have more, you have only one page here, but when you have multiple pages here and you drag it to filter on all pages, meaning that anything you filter it to apply to all the pages. Okay. So let's say you wanted to filter per chart. So let's say let's take country for instance. So let me select the country. I wanted to filter it for only country. Now, when you select the country, by default, it give you filter on this visual, and it give you the field name, country, and then sum of profit. So here you can filter it based on country for only this particular chart. So here, if I select it, meaning that I'm selecting based on this particular chart. Uncheck it, filtering based on this particular chart, right? By country. Now, I can also do the same thing for some of visuals. That's the x-axis, sorry, the y-axis. So I can click on it, and here we can also be entering some numbers, right? Let's say it's less than, let's say less than, uh, let's say 10,000. I will see that here variables, right? Good. Okay, so that's how that filter here also works, right? Can do the same thing, filter on this page and the filter of all charts. Okay, so that's the purpose of this filters feature here. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, no question. Okay, so let's continue. Now, we also have uh this is our first chart, right? Good. Our first dashboard. I mean, it's not nice, but we will manage it like that. Now, in Power BI, we have one features called grouping and bins. Grouping, grouping and bins. So let's say that you have uh you have a column. Typical example is like this country column. This country column, the values in this country column, or the countries in this country column, they are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 countries there. Now let's say that these 5 countries, you wanted to group it based on their continent. Okay, you wanted to group it based on continent. So when you check, we have Canada, we have France, we have Germany, we have Mexico, and we have United States. So let's say that means that here we have 2 continents here. France and Germany, they are European countries, and Canada, Mexico, and United States are from North America, right? Continent. So let's say that you wanted to do some analysis based on continent to know the whole continent, their, how do you call it, their total sales or their profits. Yes, so here, before you can do that, unless you group the countries based on continent, before you can do that. Now here, that's where the groups comes in. The groups feature in Power BI helps you to group your values. Okay. Now let's look at the country. So let's say you wanted to group this country based on continents, So here you select it, the country, and then you go to data groups. The data groups, and then we have the new group, the new data group. Click on it, and a new dialog box will open for you. You see that here by default, it has given you a name. Default name, country groups. Now you don't want the country groups, you want to rename it. Let's make it continent. Continent. Okay. Now we also have a group type is list. Now the groupings, we also have two ways of grouping it. We can group categorical variables and numerical variables. Now the groupings works with a text variable or a categorical variable. Typical example is like the country we have. This one, the country column. The values here is what? It's a text, right? It's a categorical variable. So here you can you will use the groups to do that, the groups feature to do that. Now let's assume that we also have a numerical variable. The numerical variables we use the bin to do that. Now the bin is BINS, beans. BINS, beans, right? Good. The beans works with what? The numerical variables. That's the column that contains numbers. Okay, so let's do the groupings for the country column. Now we know that France, Germany are from the same continent. So you select these two. So you are doing multiple selection. So you press Control, then you click and you click. Then you click on group, then to move you to groups and members. Then you double click on this title and then let's make it Europe. So AU, right? AU stand for Europe. Okay. And then the rest, let's also select it and then bring it here. And here, let's make it North America continent. Now we have this. So now we have two continents here. After you have grouped it like this, and come here to click on OK. Grouping is that it helps in visualization. As I said, that's the main reason why we are grouping it, so that it helps us to build more dynamic visual. And we can also, I mean, in terms of analysis and all those things, the grouping will help us. Okay, so now we have a continent here. So anytime you see this sign, meaning that that particular field is what is a created and it's a continent. Sorry, it's a group field. Okay. Yes, yeah, Iram, you can talk.
Please, I wanted to ask if there are other forms of the group types because I realized it was only on lists.
You said,
I wanted
yeah,
to ask if there are other forms of the group types because I realized it was only on the lists.
yes, it's only on the list. So that's why I'm saying that here the groupings, we have two types of groupings. That's the data groupings. We have the group, which is this one, and then we have the beans, the group and beans, right? So it's because of here we are dealing with a categorical variable, which is test. See that this contains test. Now, if I click something like Unisol and then go to the data groups again, we can see that here the grouping types, we have list and beans. Okay, but because this is the one we just did is how do you call it? It's a test. That's why it's only giving us what? It's only giving us a list. So when we are dealing with a categorical variables or a test, you only have one feature, which is what? Which is the list. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
But if you are dealing with numerical variables, we have two. The beans and then the list. Okay. We talk about the beans and the list also. Okay. So we have this. So now let's go back to our report view. So I mean, this particular page is full. So let's go to the next page, page 2. So the page 2, let's say that you wanted to come out with uh, a chart that can give us the continent, each continent and profit, right? So let's use the star column chart again. Star column chart again, and then here, let me drag the continent to x-axis, and then the profit to y-axis. So you see that here, that's able to give me what? Give me these two. So the North America, we are having about 9 million plus profits, and then the Europe, we have 7 million. Yeah, 7 million, right? So here, the North America has higher profit compared to the Europe. Now, these groupings also help us in terms of drill out, down, and drill up. Drill down and drill up. Now, when I take this North America, I wanted to know inside this North America, which countries also has the highest profit, or to also compare the countries in the North America. You get me? So here, what I'll do is that I'll take the country and then bring it at down of uh, the uh, the continent. Good. So that I'll be having this. Okay. Now see that as soon as I put the continent, sorry, the country here, the x-axis, I have two x-axis, the continent and then the country. Now you see this sign here. This is the drill down and drill up I'm talking about. So if I click here, you see that now I have only North America. So let me put it here, North America. Now this North America, I wanted to also compare the countries in North America. So I'll click on the drill down. You see that the drill down has given me the countries in North America. Are you okay? Now, if I want to go back, I'll just click here, drill up, and then also compare the, sorry, this is the data, don't want this. Also compare the Europe. I'll click on it, and these are the Europe countries, Germany and France. So that's one of the most important aspect of the grouping. Okay. Okay. Now let's also talk about the hierarchy. Hierarchy. Now, hierarchy is also one feature in Power BI in terms of visualization. That one too is also help you in terms of building a dynamic visual, like something like the grouping. But the only difference between the hierarchy and the grouping is that the hierarchy are the combination of the default field we have in it, but the grouping is the field we have created. So let me show you a typical example. Now, let me take the products and then the segment. So I have, this is the segment and this is the product. All right. Now, I wanted to compare in terms of sales, which products, in terms of the segment, which product has the highest sales. Something similar to the grouping we just did. So let's create hierarchy for the product and segment. You select it and then go to these three dots here. Click on the three dots and then go to create hierarchy. Click on the create hierarchy. You wait for some time to automatically create the hierarchy. Good. Now we have the hierarchy sign here. See that, let me expand this. You see that hierarchy, segment hierarchy. Now this segment hierarchy, I wanted to add this product to this hierarchy. Now, if you see a symbol like this symbol stands for hierarchy, right? So if you any field like this is the hierarchy. So I come to the products, and also click on these three dots, and then I'll go to add to hierarchy. So the add to hierarchy, I'll click on the hierarchy I've created. The hierarchy, you can create multiple hierarchy, and then I'll click on it, and here by default it will automatically add it to the hierarchy. So that here inside this hierarchy I have segment and then the product. Okay, now let's also take the same visual, this visual, and bring it here. And let me also do this in terms of sales. So I'll put the hierarchy at the x-axis and then the sales at the y-axis. Good. Let me expand. Good. Now we see that here, this is the whole, the segment. This is the segment. So let's take the enterprise. So the enterprise, I wanted to drill down into the enterprise to also compare the products in the enterprises. In the enterprise. Now, the segment, which segment has the highest sales? The government has the highest sales. Now, followed by the small business, enterprise, and the mid-market, and then the channel partners. Now, the enterprise, I wanted to know inside the enterprise which product has the highest sales. Also compare the products in the enterprise. So I'll click on this drill down here, so that now I'm inside the enterprise. So this is the highest product for the enterprise. If I want to go back, I'll just click on drill up to go back. Also compare it, the same thing applies to the government. Drill down to also compare. Okay, so here you see that here we have government here, meaning that I'm inside the government to also compare the products there. Right, good. So that's the hierarchy. So you see that the idea of the hierarchy and the groupings is almost the same, but there's difference. The field here is what we created the field. No, the field is already in the that's the columns, the original field. Then we combine it. But by the continents, we created the continents ourselves, right? Using the country. So are you okay with the hierarchy and then the field? Sorry, hierarchy and then the the groups. Okay. Okay. So here too, let's also format it. Let's make it nice more. So I come here, format printer. I'll also come here, click on it. Look here. So click on it. Okay, then I'm position it down here. Position it also down here. Okay. Now let's also try the beans. Okay, so the bean we have the bean we have to it has to be a numerical column here. I'm coming. Normally I use each for as an example for the beans. But since you know this, let's do this. Cool. Okay. I want to create a scenario for the normal. I use age. So I'll try example. We'll take another example, then do for the beans. Right. Okay. Okay. So this is our first page. Now, during the introduction, we spoke about the Power BI app. Power BI app. Now, when you look down here, we have a sign like desktop. If you put your cursor on it, you see that desktop layout. So if you open it on your desktop, this is how it will look like. Right now, let's also put the cursor on this one and see that we have a mobile layout. Mobile layout. Mobile layout view. Okay. Now, when you want to open a dashboard or a report on your mobile, here the developer of that particular report have to design the dashboard or report how it will display or how you can view it on your mobile. So let's look at that. Let's click on the layout. Click on the layout, the mobile layout. And the mobile layout, we have something like this. So let me scroll down. So here, what we are come to do now is we are come to design how the dashboard will display on a mobile device. Good. Here we can click on auto mobile layout, or for Power BI automatically creates the layout for you. If you didn't do this, the Power BI will automatically create it for you. And sometimes it can be the Power BI can miss certain things up, right? Sometimes it can create the thing good, sometimes you can create the thing badly. The best thing is you have to design it how it will work. Someone will view it on the mobile. Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, I'll click this coming. Yep, and drag it. Mhm. Drag it here. Good. So yeah, let's arrange it how we want to display our visual on the mobile. So this is how it will look like. Okay. The way you want it is the way you. Yeah, so this is how it will look like. Right. Let's do the same thing for the page. Page one. Now the page one, let's click on auto layout. Auto create mobile layout. So this is what Power BI has given us. And it's cool. I mean, it's not bad. But I would like for the slicer will come top here. So I'll drag the slicer to the top. Drag the slicer to the top here. Mm. You see that the way it was creating very, very difficult. Bring it down, 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 down. Yeah. I want the slicer to go top. Let me go back to the data view. And then do it again. Then go to remove visuals. Yeah. Good. And here let's automatically create it. So I'll click my slicer to be here. Or let me do something like this. Take the slicer here again. Okay, good. This is how I want it to be. And then followed by my cards. So there's the card. Then position it here. And then let me position it. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, good. Okay. And then here, let me bring this one here. And then let me bring this one to no. The name have to come first. I mean, the arrangement is from you, right? You have to bring the financial dashboard first. Let me bring it down here. Yeah, design is. So this is what I was saying, that designing is also one aspect of the visualization. So let me, the font is two, so let me reduce the font size. Let me reduce the font size to, let's say, 16. Good. Okay. So that's perfect. We have something like this. Mhm. Okay. Good. And let me bring this one here. Let me bring this one to here. And then the last one to here. Okay, so this is how it will look like, when you open it on your mobile device. Okay. Now, see that the data we are working with right now is a default data set in the Power BI. It's a default data set we have in the Power BI. Now let's assume that we wanted to import our own data. That's our next step, what we are coming to do now. Good. Now I have this data here. How this, I'll, after that, after the class, I'll share the data with you. Let's say I have this data here, the airlines reviews. Airlines reviews. Now this, let's check the file format of this data. So you right click and go to properties. And you see that this file format, the file format is a CSV file. The file format is a CSV file. Now, if you want to import it into the Power BI, first of all, we talk about the data source. We spoke about data source, right? Say that the data source is all about where the data is coming from, right? Good. So here you can get the data, can click on get data from. So all these things are where you can get data from. Let's make so all these places, all these source are where you can get data from. But ours, we are, so far as our file format is a CSV, meaning that we have to select a CSV file or a CSV format. So here we can select text or CSV from this side, or you can come here, select text or CSV. Click on text or CSV and it will open your file or a file explorer for you, and you navigate through your files to select the type of data you want. So this is the data I wanted to import. I'll select that data and then click on open. Okay, so this is the preview of the data. If the data is okay for me to use, I'll click on load, or else I'll click on run, format, uh, transform data. So let's assume that this data is cool for us to use. So let's click on load, and here it will automatically load into the Power BI. Okay. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, so here is TV reloaded by 93 errors. Okay, fine. You can work on these errors. Okay, so this is the data we just loaded. Let me expand it to see. All right, so this is the data. So this is the financial table, and this is the airlines table. Can go to the reports, the table view. So now we have two tables here, financials and then the report view. So this is the report view. All this data is very, very long. The report view. Okay, so that's how we imported data from our local machine. Now let me also show you this, how you can also import data from the web. How you can import data from a different source like the web. So here the same idea. Now let's say we have a data uh, on Wikipedia. So let me open this. I'm coming. I have this. Let's say we have data on Wikipedia. So example like regions in Ghana. Let me type regions in Ghana. Okay. Now we have Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Okay, let me open it. I also have Wikipedia. Okay, let's check the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Okay, let's check the Wikipedia. It's downloading. Okay, so the Wikipedia, this is the tables we have. Now, let's say that you want this particular data or this particular information in a table form. Now, normally the manual way is that you can copy it and then you can go and paste it in Excel. Copy and paste, which is very, very tedious work for you to do. So what you have to do is that in Power BI, you can do this without stress. You come to your Power BI and choose the data source. Here, you know that the data is coming from the web. So we choose the web here. Then we come to the okay, from the web. Now here we come here to copy the URL. So this is the URL. Copy the URL. Then to the Power BI, then paste the link here in the URL. Copy the URL and come and paste it here. Then you click on OK. Then wait for some time. It will extract the data from the web into your Power BI. Okay. So here you can see that it has extracted all the tables from the website. So you can go through it one after the other to check which data you are looking for or the table you are looking for. So let's say table 3 is okay for us. All right, good. So it's tick here. Now, when you look at this preview, we can see that we have column 1, column 2, column 3, and column 4. Right, it didn't pick the right column name. The column name is what? The former region, capital, new region, capital. Okay. So here, what you have to do is that this point is where the data transformations comes in or data cleaning comes in. the data is not in the right position. So we are coming to put it at the right position. So you go to transform data. Go to transform data, and the transform data will open the Power Query editor for you. I think the last time I spoke about this Power Query editor, I said that Power Query editor is specifically for data transformation and cleaning, right? Good. So yeah, what you have to do now is that you go to transform, click on transform. Oh, let's wait, it's not responding. Why Power Query is not responding? Shit. Having issue. Okay. So any questions so far? If you have any question, you can ask while the thing is loading. Any question?
No question for now.
Okay, no question from all. Okay. Wow. Why this? Okay. 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 So I just wanted to show you something in the Power Query, then we'll end the section. Okay. Maybe we'll do it next time we meet. So I'll save it and then we'll do it next time we meet. Okay. So if we don't have any question so far, I mean, this is the agenda for the day. I'll send you the recording tomorrow morning. Right. Okay. So I'm ending the recording.